Let's talk some sports, baby.
Taken by Iguodala. Iguodala to Curry. Back to Iguodala. Up for the layup. Oh, blocked by Jones.
And remember, make tomorrow better than today, and make today better than yesterday. And you know what we gonna do. We gonna holler at you until next time, baby.
All right, guys, let's finish off the NBA topics. Look at the NBA's reopening. The NBA is considering several options for a 2019-2020 season restart, and it seems that right now a return of some sort is more likely than not. However, it seems the NBA has quite a lot of options and ways to attack the return. So let's have a little bit of fun tonight. Starting with you, Jay, we're each going to take a shot role-playing as the NBA commissioner and lay out our personal plans of how to find a 2019-2020 champion safely and fairly and then get ready for the 2021 season in a timely manner. So, Jay, you got it. Take us through your plan.
Yeah, so hey, listen, what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a 2-week regular season, a tune-up time period to gear up for the playoffs. It's gonna be 7 games, so you play every other day. We're gonna start that either in middle of June or we're gonna do that early July, and we're gonna have a Western Conference and Eastern Conference location. The 2 locations that keep coming up is Las Vegas and Orlando. So we're gonna have the Western Conference games out in Vegas, and the Eastern Conference will play in Orlando. And there won't be, to limit travel, we're not going to have any interconference matchups. There's not going to be any Miami playing LA, none of that. So it'll all be interconference match. West plays West, East plays East, all the way up until the finals to limit travel. And then, your playoffs will start like normal, either early July or mid-July. And playoffs is going to proceed like normal. And then all in all, afterwards, I got a shortened 2020-21 season starting in December, because as this goes, it'll probably be late August, early September that the finals will be over and we have a champion. So I got next season starting in December, being about 66 games to help trying to get back on track with what we're accustomed to. And then also, as far as, obviously, there's got to be some sort of testing regimen in place. I'm not going to get too far in the weeds in that, but you do have to have some sort of program in place. You can look at testing before every game. You can look at maybe testing a little less frequently, depending on if you got guys kind of isolated to the arenas they're playing in, hotels, to where you're not in contact with a whole bunch of other people. Maybe do temperature checks every game before games to limit testing, depending on how that goes. But all in all, that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. A little rough.
So let me ask you this. So your East versus East, West versus West, your regular season, you're going to finish the regular season games. Are those going to have impact on the playoffs?
Yeah. Thank you for bringing me back into that, because, yeah. And also with the 7 games, there are teams right now that, depending on where, there's some teams already in the basement that got eliminated. But I'm looking at, for this, with 7 games, if you're within 7 games of that 8th playoff spot, so out west, I'm looking at your Portlands, your New Orleans,
Sacramento.
Sacramento. There's a couple teams out there. If you're within 7 games, I think you should be able to play and try to earn your way into the playoffs. I think they should have that opportunity. I know it's probably a slim chance that they would get in that 8th spot. And even so, if they did, I mean, you're losing to the Lakers in the first round. So congratulations. But I still believe those teams deserve the opportunity to get a chance to fight their way in. So that's my point on that. I would let those teams within striking distance play.
Nice.
All right. How everybody doing? I'd like to thank everybody for coming. All right. This press conference is to let you know our future plans with resuming the NBA season. I will say this now. This will not cover the testing or anything with the testing. We want to make sure everything is in place before we start, alluding on how we're going to test. So please hold questions for that till a later time. We just focus on the season in hand right now. Now, I want to start by saying this. The teams that are in, the 16 teams, 8 Eastern, 8 Western, those teams are the teams that is locked into the playoff. I'm sorry. I do understand this will create an inconvenience for those teams that want to fight their way in. You had 70 games. I don't know what you want me to tell you, but you're done. I'm sorry. How you think they feel in college for the guys that didn't get to play in the tournament? All right? Somebody got to get shafted. I guess it's you. Good luck next year. Now, I want to go off to say most, if not all, cross-conference games will be canceled. I don't think I need to explain why. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Those games will be canceled. With that said, the teams that are vying for playoff spots will get a 2-week acclimatization period, also known as the rest of the regular season. We're working on how we want to do that. Players are still getting paid, so some of these non-playoff teams will participate, because if you decline to participate, I'm sorry, you will not get paid for the season. It's as simple as that. It is no OT getting authorized. You get paid for what you do on the clock, and that's what it is. Now, with that said, I want to get a 2 weeks so some of these players can get their bodies somewhat in playoff shape. I don't think you would necessarily get a full body of work in 2 weeks, but it's better than just rolling right into the playoffs. So, with that said, the 2 locations for the Eastern Conference, we're looking to have the Eastern Conference at Disney World in Orlando, Florida. We have mapped out the hotels. We have mapped out where the games are going to get played. We even have mapped out an area for, if any type of media, six feet apart. Make sure you got your mask. You come in there without it, you can pack your stuff and go home. But Disney World allowing us the best chance to meet all requirements in the same spot. So that's why Orlando, Florida, right? For the Western Conference, right now, we're looking at Las Vegas, Nevada. Somewhere on the Strip, we have a good portion of the Strip located that we'd already quarantined off. We already got the works in the works. Well, you think it's going to be a season? Yeah, of course I thought it was going to be a season. Anyway, please hold all questions. We got a piece of the Strip ready to go for the Western Conference that would pretty much check all of the box that we need checked for the 8 Western Conference team. Now, I forgot the caveat. I know it's going to be a question. What about the NBA Finals? Listen, we have some very, very smart people, some very, very intelligent people working on a game plan to make it where the NBA Finals is located somewhere that will not involve a long travel from the West Coast and long travel from the East Coast, because we do know we're talking about safety. The last thing we want is for 2 teams to have to travel across the country to play in the NBA Finals. I'm telling you right now, we don't have a locked-in location, but we're working on it. Give us a chance, people. Give us a chance. All right? So, with that said, that is the current plan we have in place. But best believe it, the NBA is going down. Get your popcorn ready, because we're ready to give the fans what they want. We're ready to give you, the media, what you want. And let's play ball.
Can I just say one thing? That was absolutely excellent. And I just love how Drink worked the room right there as if he's got 30 reporters sitting there in his living room that he was addressing. That was absolutely outstanding. Also want to say real quick, I didn't cover this, but no fans. I think the NBA should scratch fans for the rest of this season and through the playoffs. And I think that's a problem they should address and try to maybe reincorporate fans into the equation for the next regular season.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so those are great plans, guys. Here's what I got for you. First of all, my main goal as a commissioner, I do not want this to impact the 2020-2021 season as little as possible. I think it's imperative to cut off the issue as much as you can and get that season, the next season, started on time. We're talking about revenue. We're talking about league.
No. When you say on time, you saying October or the modified time that they already agreed upon in December?
Well, it's unlikely that you would be able to get underway like in early October, like we expect, like with the preseason starting. But my goal would be to not stretch this into late December, even into January, February. Like I'm trying to think of a way I can get this done and limit my impact on the next season as much as possible. Because you're talking about a lot better chances of having fans next year and the next regular season and all that, like later in the year when things calm down more. So I'm trying to think of a way I can get this off and get it done as soon as possible, right? So, like you said, I'm with you, Drink. I want to end the 2019 regular season. Playoff teams are set. If you're not, sorry for your bad luck. I think most of those teams, like you said, aren't going to want to play if they're not in the playoffs. They don't have a lot to play for anyway. They're not going to risk their players, not going to risk their coaches. So it's going to be hard to get a bunch of teams to come in and play that aren't in the playoffs. So, hey, the few teams that were chasing Memphis, sorry, you're getting Godzilla stomped by LA anyway, so it doesn't
It will
really
if they
matter.
don't get paid.
Well, you can work that out. If they're not getting paid, then maybe if the league's back on, maybe we can pay them anyway. Maybe we can pay them through the rest of the regular season. I don't know how that works anyway. If you're not in the playoffs, you're not getting paid anyway.
It's still a season. So just because you're not
Right.
in the playoffs, you know what I'm saying? You still got a requirement. You're not in the playoffs. I didn't say you had to play to the best of your ability. I just said you had to play.
I'd be afraid to me teams would not want to do that. They would just be like, no, we're not doing that. We're not going to risk it.
Hey, bro, get the scabs.
If they're not in the oh no, not that. Other replacements. Oh no. But anyway, so we look to a mini preseason period. So I want to give up the 2 months for my players to get back into practices, scrimmages, whatnot, whatever they want to do. The product needs to be as close to solid as possible. We don't want some garbage playoff basketball that's just dudes running around half in shape, wheezing and falling over and all that. So we got to understand these guys haven't had access to weights or facilities. And since all the states are in limbo, I'm going to try to get it to where I get these teams either use their facilities or share with another team or move to a state that's open. So, this 6 to 8 week period, you're going to play you're going to practice wherever you want. You can organize your own scrimmages. Hey, if other teams want to come in and mess around with you, that's fine. But hey, you've got 2 months to get your teams ready, and no later than June 15th, we want that to start. And then early August, I'm going to get the playoffs started. I like their idea. Use a single location. You take all 16 teams. You fly them in. You can centralize your testing. You can centralize your medical staff. Anything else needs to be controlled. You know where everybody is. You're not split half and half. You can have all the film crews in one area. It cuts down costs because we aren't getting revenue from our seats being filled. So we've got to keep this as cost-minded as possible here. And limit travel as much as possible. So, then by late September, maybe we can start doing home and home for the Eastern Conference Finals. Maybe we can do it for the finals. That'll be a game time decision based off how the country's looking, how many places are open. But we are going to push into football season a little bit. Overall, it's not the end of the world. You can also experiment with a 5-game series maybe. But overall, we want this to end hopefully around October or early November, right? That's like kind of our goal here. And then we have to see how the offseason goes. Maybe we have a month of an offseason. We have our draft. We have free agency. I don't know if a month is enough time to do that, but we can try. And then hopefully our season gets underway earliest at Thanksgiving. Maybe we're a month behind schedule. I think a month, even a month and a half, you can make up during the season and into next season. You can eat some of next offseason. You can eat some back-to-backs. You can do some things to get some of that time back, incrementally. But even shorten the All-Star break, whatever the case may be. But I think if they do that, they're going to have a good chance of getting back on track on time. But it's going to be hard if you want to try to finish the regular season and get all the playoffs and give them enough time to get ready. There's just not enough time at this point to do all three, I think. So that's how I would attack the issue.